Hello, my name is Sharon Cohan. I'm one of the ambassadors for the No ALL. I have 40 years of experience working in oncology, and for the last 19 years, I've worked with blood cancer patients only. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. So today I'm going to talk about how to talk about your loved ones about your diagnosis. Telling people you have cancer, it's a deeply personal and often challenging process. You've just been diagnosed, you're scared, you're confused. Talking about your cancer makes it real, and it can be very difficult. There's no single right way to do it, and the best approach depends on your individual circumstances. However, a thoughtful and planned approach can help you evaluate these conversations with greater ease and ensure you'll receive the support you need. First, take some time to decide who you'd like to share the news with and how much detail you would like to include. The answer does not have to be a one-size-fits-all. It may help if you think about your social connections as concentric circles and choose a different approach for each. For example, you might share everything with your close friends and family, but keep things vague with coworkers and acquaintances. There's no right way to break the news to your family, but it may help to tell them in advance what you need to talk about is very important. Taking time to think about what you want to say, anticipate the questions your loved ones might ask and how you might respond. Seek help from healthcare professionals, your doctors or your nurses, to help supply the detail of your diagnosis and your treatment. You can ask to have a family meeting with your doctor. Your loved ones will likely be shocked by the news, and their reactions may be unexpected. Everyone responds to bad news in their own way. Some often offer support right away, while others need some time to process. Even if you're worried about making your loved ones upset or scared, resist the urge to put on a happy face just for the sake of protecting them. It's normal, and it's okay to be emotional. And by being honest about how you feel, it's better for everyone. Sharing your emotions and asking your loved ones about theirs can let you work through them together. But remember, it's okay to say you're not ready to talk about something yet. You don't have to cover everything in one conversation. You and you don't have to share the information alone either. If describing the details of your leukemia or the treatment plans feels overwhelming, you can ask a member of your care team to help explain those complex and technical details. If you're worried a loved one may be more upset than you and you won't be able to comfort them, ask to have a social worker or a counselor with you to act as a mediator. When you share with your wider circle, you might choose to communicate through a spokesperson. This would be a friend or a family member that you ask to act as your press secretary to dispense this information to a list of extended families and friends and others in your community. By selecting a spokesperson, this can save you from having to ask or answer the same question over and over again. They can use a social media platform that you can invite people and they can update what's going on with you in real time. Before you let your larger circle know about your diagnosis, decide how much you want to share and what topics are off limits. It's important to come up with a response to unwanted questions ahead of time. You may say something as simple as, "Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not talk about it right now." Or, "Thank you for asking, but I prefer you direct those questions to your spokesperson." On the other hand, if you do feel the urge to talk, go ahead. For many people, sharing the news makes it real and helps them process and accept it. It also gives your community the opportunity to support you. When it comes to talking to your employer, you may not be sure whether it's wise to let them know you have cancer or that your child has cancer. You may want to seek advice from a professional counselor who understands your employment rights for people living with cancer or taking care of someone with cancer. Consider telling your employer if you're going to need time off for your own personal treatments or to be at the hospital with your child. You also would want to talk to your employee to find out if you're eligible for a family or medical leave. Some people consider not confiding in their employer because they're afraid they may not get a raise or a promotion. They don't want people to feel sorry about them. And they're afraid of losing their job. Please find out what your legal rights are in your area. When talking to children, I'm going to provide you some tips. Not only talking to your children about your cancer, but talking to a child about their own cancers and their siblings. It's important to be honest and don't be afraid to use words like cancer or leukemia. They're going to hear adults use these words, and if these words are not described to them in terms that they can understand, it can be very scary. It's important to let young children know that cancer or leukemia is not contagious. They can't catch it from you, and they can't give it to their friends if they have leukemia. It's also important that young children understand that they didn't do anything to cause it. When bad things happen in the family, young children have a magical thinking that sometimes what they thought or what they did caused that bad thing. If you're having trouble deciding how to tell your children or talk to your child about their cancer, your healthcare or their healthcare team can give you advice. It's important to remind your children how much you love them. Explain that even if you're feeling cranky or tired, you still love them. Or if they're feeling cranky and tired and their behavior is not what they're used to, remind them that you still love them. Tell them how proud you are of them. And remember to assure them that it's not their fault that you or they have cancer. Regardless of the age, children are usually aware when their or your health causes concern in the family. Your child may experience a variety of emotions such as anger, guilt, fear, anxiety, and sadness all in quick succession. Sometimes parents wish to shield their children from information about illness in the family and its treatment. Keep in mind that your child will use their imagination to fill in the perceived gap of the information, and what they imagine may be much worse than the actual situation. Talk to your child about illness and and its its treatment in age appropriate language. Listen carefully what they say and what they don't say. Be sensitive to their body language and other reactions. Your children are more likely to let you know when something is scary or worrisome if they trust you. You can take this opportunity to address their fears and concerns. It's important to introduce your child that has cancer to their healthcare team. Who's going to help them? Is it going to be the social worker, a counselor, or maybe a child life specialist? If you're talking to your child about your cancer, it's important for them to know what other adults in their lives are going to be there to help support them. Other extended families, maybe another child's that goes to the same school, their parents may be available to help pick them up. It's important to go over the extended support roles for your children so that they know. So, tips to talking about or talking to a child in an age appropriate manner. For children under age 5, you want to use simple language and focus on what they can see and experience, like physical changes of the treatment. You can use a doll or stuffed animal. For this age, it's really important to remind them that this isn't a disease that's contagious and they have done nothing to cause their cancer. School-age children, 5 and above, you can provide more complex explanation, including the name of the cancer and the treatment details, considering using books or pamphlets or video to help them understand. Teenagers, uh, they're likely to have some understanding of the cancer, but will internalize their feelings. Encourage them to talk about their emotion, even if it's not with you. If it if you have a teenager with cancer, it's important that they know the detail of their diagnosis and help them be part of the decision-making process, giving them some power over their own body. So remember, be honest, answer questions, reassure them, validate their emotions, and maintain the routine, which will give them a sense of stability. The use of technology, such as smartphones, for video chatting can be very important. You can let your child know that you'll be able to talk to them while you're in the hospital by video chatting. Or your child with cancer can be able to use this technology to stay in contact with their friends. Alert them to any changes of appearance. If the treatment will cause your hair to fall out or their hair to fall out, it's important that they have an understanding that this may happen and how you're going to deal with that. Life and death questions may be asked. Be honest. Today, I'm not going to die. We have a treatment plan and we're going to do well. I promise to let you know if something comes up that you need to be aware of. It's appropriate to address their concerns. Reassure them that you will always be honest with them, even if you don't have all the answers. It's important to take care of yourself during this process. Sharing a cancer diagnosis with your loved ones is profoundly challenging. By prioritizing your self-care during this time is essential for both your well-being and your ability to support others. Tips for caring for yourself during this process includes being prepared, taking your time before breaking the news. Allow yourself time to process your emotions and come to terms with the diagnosis. Acknowledge and validate your feelings. It's normal to experience a range of emotions, including fear, sadness, and anger. Don't judge yourself for these feelings, but acknowledge them as a natural part of the process. You can always practice with our professionals, or remember they can be with you when you talk to your family. Choose the right time and place. Anticipate questions. Decide on the level of detail. And allow time for their reactions. Lean on your support network. Don't hesitate to involve trusted friends or families in the conversation, or ask your care team to help explain those complex and medical details and set boundaries. It's okay to say if you're not ready to discuss certain topics, or to redirect the conversation if you feel overwhelmed. Your well-being is important too. Ongoing self-care. Continue to enjoy activities. Include your family in hobbies and activities that you all find pleasurable, whether it's spending time in nature or listening to music. It's important for everybody in the family to maintain healthy lifestyles. Prioritize eating healthy, regular exercise, and significant sleep to support your physical and mental well-being. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Delegate tasks and responsibility to friends and family who want to support you. By proactively practicing self-care, you can navigate the challenging process of discussing a cancer diagnosis with greater strength and resilience, while also creating a foundation for open communications and support with your loved ones. Thank you for listening.